Just a quick word for somebody as I continue to read the book of Joshua. I think I'm just going to call it God's Way is Better. As Joshua and the Israelites are coming to Jericho, he encounters a figure. He said, "I'm a commander of the Lord." And so Joshua falls to his face in reverence and understands that this is a holy person. This is a divine encounter with a heavenly commander. It could be Christ, a lot of people say, but he falls to his face and he seeks instruction from this heavenly figure. And he told him to take off his sandals because this is a holy place, just like he did with Moses at the burning bush, so he could get instructions, so he could be in the presence of the Lord. And so they're at the walls of Jericho, and a lot of us would think, how would we, take over a place? How would we, gain the ground that we were trying to gain? And a lot of them would probably think, let's just go up to the wall. Let's just climb the wall. Let's try to get in, and start taking them out. No, you got to listen to the Lord on how to fight your battles. And he gives them specific instructions to take the walls of Jericho, and probably would have done it a lot easier his way too. If they did it their own way, probably lost more men, probably would have, who knows. But the Lord gives them specific instructions. He said, "See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its kings and its fighting men. March around the city once with all the armed men. Do this for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horns in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times, with the priests blowing the trumpets. When you hear them sound a long blast on the trumpets, have the whole army give a loud shout. Then the wall of the city will collapse, and the army will go up, everyone straight in." People, Joshua's probably thinking, what are you talking about, God? What are you talking about, Lord? You want us to just walk around this place blowing and sounding trumpets? He's probably thinking, this figure's crazy. The Lord there's no way. But he was careful to obey. And it says that he did everything that he said to do. They march around it one time for 6 days. And on the 7th day, they got up at daybreak and marched around the city 7 times. In the same manner, except that on that day, they circled the city 7 times, just as the Lord instructed them to do. The 7th time around, when the priest sounded the trumpet blast, Joshua commanded the army, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city." The wall collapsed so everyone could charge in, and they took the city just how the Lord had instructed Joshua to do. And as a leader, and as you're trying to grow in your faith, you got to be obedient to the instructions you're given. They may not make sense to you, but you can't lean on your own understanding, and God's ways are higher than your ways, and his thoughts are higher than your thoughts, and you just have to obey, even if it doesn't make any sense. Even if you would have done it a different way, even if, you've done it one way your whole life. But guess what? If you keep doing the same thing over and over and nothing's working, why don't you try obeying the Lord, the Word, to change whatever you want to change in your life? And that's to win a battle. If you're having a battle of something in your mind, take up the Word and obey it. Start conforming your mind to the Word instead of the world. You got to do things God's way and be obedient in order for things to, start to change and to win the battles that you're facing. And it said the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame spread throughout the land. So I just wanted to tell somebody today that you got to be obedient to the Word. He gives you instructions in it. And you may not do it perfectly, but start with some small steps. Start moving in a direction so that you can make it easier for yourself. Just like them, they didn't have to do anything but march around. They didn't lose extra men. They didn't have to kill. They didn't have to die. They just marched around because they were obedient, and God made it easier. But because we think that that would be crazy, we wouldn't want to do it. But they obeyed, and they took the land with ease on the 7th day, just as the Lord had commanded. So let's just try to be obedient. Let's try to, hear what the Lord is saying to us to change and to win some battles today. God bless you guys.